In today's class, I'm going to help you pass the A+. We're going to go over core 1 and core 2. So what I'm going to be doing is going through the questions and giving you time to figure out what the answer is, and then going through the answers and explaining why the answer is the answer. So the reason that we need to do this is because when you get in the exam room, you're not going to have a lot of time to figure things out. So once we go through this, you're going to be able to know, am I ready for the A+, or do I need to study some more? Y'all ready? Let's get straight into it. First thing is, let's figure out who the hell I am. So I'm Rob. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Now I'm headquartered in Texas, and I help people just like you transition into rewarding tech careers. So I was in the Army for quite some time. I got out as a staff sergeant. I went to Afghanistan, fought for your freedom, so on and so forth. I've taught over 15,000 people. I have over 12 industry certifications. I have an MBA in information technology, and I'm just an all-around good guy. So the next slide, we're going to actually go through piece by piece what the A+ is and what you can actually expect on the A+. Now, like I said, if we go through these questions and you are struggling, you're not getting the things right, most likely you aren't quite ready for the actual A+, right? You got to put a little bit more time in, so on and so forth. So once again, I'm Rob, the founder of the Zero to IT Hero program, a program that helps people just like you break into tech in little as 90 days by getting the right skills, the right certs, and the right mindset to transition into IT. All the ways I can help you is going to be in the links in the description. Now let's get into the actual training. So when it comes to A+, is not an easy exam. It's just not. It's not an easy exam. In fact, it's so difficult that they had to break the exam into two different parts. That's how much stuff is on this actual exam, right? So usually when people are thinking about getting into tech, A+ is the first certification that they go after. Now, once you get A+ certified, you can start applying for jobs. It's kind of like the entryway. It's going to open the door for you. Now, do you need more stuff than A+ to actually get a job and keep a job? For sure. What do you need? The biggest thing is you have to know how to actually do the damn job, right? But this is going to give you those opportunities, whether it's technical support, help desk, system admin, or IT infrastructure roles. So core 1 focuses on hardware, networking, mobile devices, cloud computing, and troubleshooting. Core 2 focuses on operating systems, security, software, troubleshooting, and just best practices overall. Now, as far as actually passing the actual certification and the setup for each certification is going to have a maximum of 90 questions. It doesn't mean that you're going to get 90 questions, but you're going to have a maximum of 90 questions, right? So it's going to be a combination of multiple choice and performance-based questions. So multiple choice, you're pretty much familiar with that. You got options A, B, C, D, pick the best one. Now, performance-based questions are a lot different. The performance-based questions are going to verify that you actually know how to do certain skills, certain things, right? So it's not going to be just a question and answer. It's going to be a problem. You have to solve it. So it may be how to set up a actual computer, how to build a computer, the different types of devices that you would need. It may be troubleshooting someone that isn't able to get on the internet. It may be a security-based actual question. And the question or the scenario is going to have you actually do and perform an actual skill, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So it's not just going to be regurgitating some information. It's going to be, if you were actually on the job and a scenario came up, show me what you would do, not tell me what you would do. So for core 1, as of right now, the passing score is 675 out of 900. Every CompTIA exam is going to be on a scale out of 900. Core 2, the margin for error is a little bit lower than that. So you need a 700 out of 900, right? So there's going to be so much stuff covered on the actual exam, but just a few things that they're going to talk about is hardware and mobile devices, network and cloud computing, operating systems and software troubleshooting, and security and IT best practices. The good news is in this training, we're going to literally go over all of those, right? So we're going to have some scenario-based questions and just some questions in general that's going to cover all that stuff, right? So we're going through 10 questions, right? So it's only 10 questions. So you're probably like, oh, this is going to be easy. And I promise you, this is going to be probably the most challenging exam that you've ever taken. Just this 10 questions, right? But if you at least get 70 to 80% of these questions correct, most likely you will be ready for the actual exam. All right. So if you're ready, put your thinking cap on, turn the TV off, tell your kids to go sit down, just focus, lock in right now, because these 10 questions are going to really, tell you if you suck or not, and if you're ready to go ahead and take the exam. Here we go. Here's the first question. A corporate user reports that their desktop system, which has dual SSDs in a RAID 1 configuration, is displaying a warning that the RAID array is degraded. The system is still functioning, but read-write speeds have noticeably decreased. What are the most appropriate next steps to troubleshoot and resolve this issue? Select 2. Is it A, reboot into safe mode and check device manager for missing drivers? Is it B, replace the failing SSD and allow the RAID controller to rebuild the array? Is it C, run a smart diagnostic test on both SSDs to determine the health of the drives? Is it D, disable RAID in the BIOS and switch to HCI mode for battery stability? Or is it E, perform a full format of both SSDs to clear any bad sectors? I'll give you guys time to think about this. And I'm pretty sure you're thinking, holy shit. And this can actually happen in the exam. So I want to make sure that you guys are super prepared. Imagine if this was the first question on your exam. You have no idea what the hell's going on. It's going to shoot your confidence. You're going to be scared. You're going to get the bubble guts. So just make sure that you're fully prepared. All right. So I'll give you guys a couple more seconds to think about it, and then we'll go over what the answers are. Make sure that you select 2. So to solve that problem that we just talked about, you would actually pick B and C. Number 1, replace the failing SSD and allow the RAID controller to rebuild the array. So another thing is acronyms. If you don't know what SSD stands for, and if you don't know what RAID stands for, shame on you. But on the actual exam, it's going to make the questions 10 times harder if you don't know what these things stand for, right? So a RAID 1 degraded warning usually means one of the drives has failed or is experiencing errors. So RAID is just for redundancy, right? So if a drive fails, you'll have something that's going to be able to back things up and keep things rolling. So we said the answer was B and C. So C says run a smart diagnostics test on both SSDs to determine the health of the drives. So you want to make sure that all of the drives are healthy, right? Because you won't have redundancy if one of the backups or one of the other drives that's supposed to support or come back online on one of them fails is unhealthy or corrupted or just isn't where you need it to be. All right. So this was the first question and answer. So if you ain't got your seatbelt on, put it on, because it's going to be a rough ride. If that was kind of weird, that, but anyway, that will be a little rough for you if you don't know this, right? So this is kind of how the questions are, right? It's not just going to be super simple. That's another thing that I always harp on with my students is this shit is not simple, right? A+ is not easy. And it's not simple. Do not believe the hype. Do not believe nobody says, yeah, just go get A+. It's easy. You can study for 2 days and then you'll be good. It's not the truth. Because most likely, most of you guys watching this and listening to this, most likely got this first one wrong. But that's okay, right? Because we explained it. We understood what's going on. Now, I want to go back to this question, right? Well, this question has a lot of information. The guys and the girls in the Certs IT program can actually decipher the information that's what this question is asking, what the answers mean, and pick the best answers in 60 seconds. You don't have a lot of time on the exam. you can get 90 questions in 90 minutes. So if you do get 90 minutes or get 90 questions, right, that means you only have 1 minute per question. So you want to make sure that you are able to read it, figure out what the hell it's talking about, and get the best answer. Okay. All right.